Yes, people, hope all is good. So, back at the Mecca of Salford, flex and tone, running through a full upper session with my favourite Southerner, James. This gym, like, I fucking love it. I actually cannot explain how good it is. I actually wish I lived closer. I actually do not live that far, but anyway, just a quick one. I wouldn't usually go so heavy on machines, but because I don't usually come here, I want to make the most of the machines because I just don't usually have access to them, essentially. So, we started off with side lateral machine, as you can see here, unreal machine. This takes the forearm out of it completely so you can fully focus on that side delt, nice and slow and controlled. Whether it's on this or dumbbells, you see people going mental, flapping about on the form everywhere. You want to keep a slight bend in that elbow so it's almost straight, and then obviously dragging the weight up essentially. From there, straight into the shoulder press, simple but effective. I'm locking my back into the pad, driving up with control, not letting the weight slam at the bottom. I'm trying to keep that lower back as close to that pad as possible. Okay. You'll notice a trend here as well with how I'm structuring the session. So before each big compound, for each muscle group, I'm doing an isolation exercise. So the side raise into a press, fly into a chest press. You don't have to do this, but for me, it makes it much easier to get that mind to muscle connection with that muscle, and it reduces the risk of injury instead of jumping into the big movement cold. Next, we have when obviously James has finished doing the shoulder press here. Next, obviously, we have a different variation of a pet fly machine, really stretching the chest out at the top, holding the squeeze in the middle for a second. With this and other variations of fly movements that are a little bit different to this, you want to make sure that you're keeping a slight bend in that elbow and pushing your bicep into your chest. It's almost like obviously you try to touch your elbows together. Obviously, you're not going to be able to, but that's the main aim. People have the elbows far too bent in this movement. Again, you want to minimize that bicep involvement. It's always going to happen, but the main aim is obviously to actually minimize it. So, like I said, slow and controlled all the way back, and then a big squeeze essentially at the top of the movement. Then straight into the chest press machine, load up heavier and hit that pressing strength. Again, try keep that lower back on the pad as much as possible, nice and slow, negative, and then explode up essentially. Breathing on this is crucial as well. Nice and slow on the way down, taking a big deep breath in, and then as you press that weight up, you're obviously exhaling as well. Then next, we moved on to back. We started with this machine row, a different variation than I'm used to. I went super heavy on this, I'm not gonna lie. Tested the old ego a little bit, but make sure when you are doing this, you get a big stretch as you release it back to the starting position. And when you pull back, try to keep your back as straight as you possibly can so your elbows can go further past your back. The further they go past your back, the more of a contraction you'll essentially get. Okay. Too many people just flapping about and not getting that full range of motion that I see in the gym all the time. Then into a one arm machine row, essentially, which is perfect for really isolating the lats and fixing any strength differences side to side. I love this movement, it feels absolutely unbelievable. Key points here is you want to use your hands as hooks, essentially. Try and minimize as much bicep involvement as possible. Then we went on to a superset, so rope tricep extensions with a longer rope. If you can, I highly recommend this. You get so much more range of motion paired with obviously the machine preacher girl, which you'll see in a second. Like with obviously this longer rope, it just allows you to keep your shoulders back, keep your elbows locked in instead of like hunching over. When you have, like I said, that shorter rope, it's just obviously just well, it just takes out that range of motion and it stops you from getting obviously a full contraction and fully locking out that never said that bicep then, but obviously that tricep to get that horseshoe croissant look. Then like I said, obviously you have the preacher curl here again, nice and slow on the way down, big deep stretch, and then back up to the starting point. With this one, I like to really like push my like almost like my palms into, I guess, the actual handles. For me, it just gives a much better like mind to muscle connection. Like obviously, I love training arms. I actually cannot like get enough of it. But like really, again, I'll see people here one swinging far too much, then also the fact that like they're not going all the way to the bottom. You can say same with this movement, same with like a cable curl as well. Like when they're releasing back down to the starting position, the majority of people I see in the gym, they're only probably doing about 75% of the whole entire movement, right? Whereas here, you want to fully lock out at the bottom, get that big deep stretch. Again, just tearing that muscle as much as possible. Like when you're in the gym, right? When you're training these muscles, the aim is to cause as much muscular damage as possible, right? You cause as much damage, and then you grow and obviously you repair when you're outside of the gym. Right, that's just a quick point there. Like too many people try and obviously they want to train like every single day. you're not giving your body enough time to essentially recover, right? When you are outside of the gym, that's when your body is changing. That's when your body is growing. When obviously you're in the gym, again, like I said there, you're just causing actual damage. So if you're just training every single day, you're not giving your body enough time to recover. And then actually, in reality, you could actually be stuck, say, stunting your progress slightly. Essentially, obviously, we want to get as much out of these sessions as humanly possible, if that's even a saying, essentially. So next up, we finished off with dips. So bodyweight dips for triceps. Again, people say, oh, this is obviously chest as well. It is to a certain extent, but again, it's all dependent on how obviously much you are leaning forward. I'm trying to lean back as much as I can and really dig my palms into the actual handles itself. And then finally, obviously just to superset this off as well, straight bar curl again, just to get that big naughty pump to finish the session off nicely. And of course, cannot be leaving without a cheeky physique update. So to be fair, I'm happy with this physique right now. So around 79 kilos here. Obviously running 65K a week while I'm prepping this ultra marathon at the minute, which is crazy. So to hold this fullness, and obviously hold this condition, I'm very, very happy with. I won't mind losing another kilo before in the next couple of weeks, just before obviously before I do the run. But yeah, very, very happy with the amount of obviously food I'm on, the way I'm feeling, and essentially the way I'm looking. So yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell, guys. So that's my upper session wrapped up. So if anybody's got any questions on it, like I said, just obviously just shoot me a message. But as usual, subscribe, like, comment, all that stuff. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and obviously I'm always up for recommendations wherever possible.